third and fourth quarter 2025 reading wise has probably been like the literal worst book slump I've been in since I really got back heavy into reading in 2020. It's not even funny. Like, I've read a grand total of, I think, 2 books, like, since the end of September. And you might be like, Jahid, 2 books? I've read 2 books this year. And I'm like, okay, I love that for you. But for me, I have always been a voracious reader. And lately, I just haven't really been in kind of like the flow of reading shit. I mean, I finally started my One Piece journey, whoop whoop, so I've been going back and forth between like the anime and the manga, and by the anime, I mean watching One Piece, which is the abridged version at 1.5 speed, because I'm not watching 1,300 episodes of filler with Luffy running around screaming at nothing. That's not happening. And I'm at a point where I'm like, I miss books and I miss reading, but I also recognize that this year has been, as the poets would say, belt to ass. Literally, physically, financially, emotionally, like, it's just been a lot this year. And for whatever reason, reading just doesn't feel safe in my nervous system. Like, I try to read, I set the intention, but there's just something about the process of picking up a book, sitting it down, sitting with it, analyzing it, where my body is like, nah, gang, I'm not trying to do this shit right now. And I've learned in the past, when I'm in spaces like this, the best way to kind of like pull myself out of this slump is to reintroduce a story that my body already associates with safety. And so usually for me, that's Percy Jackson. I am a die-hard Percy Jackson fan. I read all the books growing up with my dad. I'm like completely up to date. I haven't read the new book that just dropped in September, but like that's literally my jam. But I've decided to kind of revisit a series that also holds a lot of emotional significance for me, but I haven't touched in a few years. And that is going to be the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. Laini Taylor is such a sleeper pick of a YA author. I don't hear enough people talk about her, and she is phenomenal. Like, her prose is lyrical, it's gorgeous. Okay, so I have to be candid. Daughter of Smoke and Bone as a trilogy is technically a romantasy, and I cannot tell you whether or not it's good. I am too biased and too emotionally attached to have like an objective opinion on the quality of this. Granted, I'm trying to redefine my relationship with reading, so I'm going to read this in a deeper and more intentional way than I have before. So I might be able to answer that question when I get to the end of this series. But as of right now, I can't tell you whether or not it's good. But what I can tell you is that the very first page of Daughter of Smoke and Bone has one of my favorite openings ever of just setting the tone. And it is this. I'm going to read it. Hold on. Once upon a time, an angel and a devil fell in love. It did not end well. Holy bro, like, come on, what are we talking about? That is such a... I was hooked. And I actually have a really funny story with this book. So because I'm smart, I read the second one first.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Peep game, lock in, let me explain. So back when I lived in Houston, Texas, right? I was younger. My mom used to take me and my sister to the bookstore. Like every summer we had to do like mandatory book reports, and we were close to this area called the Woodlands. And in the Woodlands, we had like this 1-2-story library. I was in heaven. So I remember going there. She would like let us run loose, don't get kidnapped or anything like that, have fun. And so I go upstairs, I go to the fantasy section, and I pick up Days of Blood and Starlight. It had a different cover when I first read it because his first book came out in 2011. And me being like, Jesus, 10, 11, 12 at the time, I didn't think to look to see, hey, is this the first book in the series? I was like, no, I just picked it up and I just started reading. And I fell in love with the series, and I had fuck all kind of context for what was happening, but I just love the way this woman writes so much. So I fell in love with this, with the second book, did some research, and I found out, oh wait, this is book 2. So I tried to find book 1. I think I went back to the library, found book 1, read book 2 again, couldn't find book 3. Flash forward, we move. I forget what the name of the series is called for years, and I just couldn't find it again. Figure it out in like 2017. I remember what it's called, and then I get it for Christmas one year as a Christmas gift, and then I read the entire series from start to finish, and I fall in love with it again. And there is something so magical to me about this series. So I want to summarize it, but I don't do summaries very well. Like basically what happens is there's a war, right? There's a war between the angels and the devils, but the devils aren't like, you know, textbook demons. What they are is actually like chimera. So if you don't know what a chimera is, Google is free. But a chimera is basically like a magical creature, or in this case, it's these beings that are a hodgepodge assortment of different animal parts. So there's a war between the angels and the chimera. The angels are like not even Loki; they are high key colonizers. They basically try to just come and like settle and conquer on the chimera's lands. There's been a war for like 1,000 years or something like that. And our two protagonists, hold on, let me not spoil shit. The main character, Karu, is a friend and a loved one of the Chimeras, and you have the male love interest, or the male POV, Akiva, who is an angel. I don't know how to talk about this book without spoiling it, so I'm just gonna read the back cover blurb before I say some shit that just ruins it for you. Okay, in general, Karu has managed to keep her two lives in balance. On the one hand, she's a 17-year-old art student in Prague. On the other, errand girl to a monstrous creature who is the closest thing she has to family. Raised half in our world, half in elsewhere, she has never understood Brimstone's dark work, buying teeth from hunters and murderers, nor how she came into his keeping. She is a secret even to herself, plagued by the sensation that she isn't whole. Now the doors to elsewhere are closing, and Karu must choose between the safety of her human life and the dangers of a war-ravaged world that may hold the answers she has always sought. See, I was spoiling all kinds of shit the way I was explaining it. So yeah, that's what the book is about. And I'm really excited to just kind of dive back into this because it's such a fun read and a fun experience. That being said, I hate how the series ends, not because it's bad, but because it's incomplete. The third book ends in a way like it's setting up a fourth, possibly even a fifth book that we just never got. Laini Taylor was like, hey, yo, I'm just going to drop this masterpiece and I'm fucking out. Like, we're not getting a third book, a fourth book. It's not happening, which is frustrating, but I can still appreciate this for what it is. And all in all, I think this is really going to be the thing to just get me out of this slump and let me like go into 2026 actually able to enjoy books and read them deeper in a way I just haven't been because I'm so serious. Third and fourth quarter has been belt to ass, but we're gonna lock in, we're gonna read these, and I will definitely be providing some updates once I'm through these stories. But yeah, hope y'all enjoy. Peace out. Catch you later.